I don't know if he could even touch the rim. Literally, I don't know if he could touch the rim with his fingertips with no basketball or anything else. Going from a guy that could barely slap backboard and now is throwing down windmill dunks is unbelievable.
Reverse engineering, 19 to 42 inch vertical. So present day, I've got some decent legs, not the best. I've got over a 4-inch vertical, not the best. But I started in my 20s, having never gotten over this elusive 19 inches. I had 3 surgical alterations by the time I was 18. Chronic pain started when I was 12. This is where I started. I couldn't even do split squats without assistance, and that's okay. I ran a gym for 6 years, and this is exactly how I got people into it. I never failed to. I didn't have the ankle mobility. I didn't have the hip flexor length. So if you elevate enough and you use enough assistance, you can get the range. So what's happening? I completely gave up on my goal of being able to dunk. So I reached my 20s having never been close. I gave up on dunking, followed the research on what creates internal knee adaptation. When you go to full bend, you're actually strengthening your ligaments, of which I had torn a bunch, some surgical, some not surgical. So some doctors have theorized I actually regrew torn ligaments from doing this. Let me be clear, that's without pain. So the research is on doing full bend without pain. Also, strengthens your meniscus, and contrary to popular belief, it's actually limiting ourselves that leads to tendon degradation because we're not actually strengthening our patellar tendons, nor are we strengthening those muscles that are most key to protect them. And then I started doing all the accessory work. So now I've done more tibialis raises probably than anyone has ever lived. So I started working all these key areas around it while just trying to get to where I could full bend well. So over time, the whole goal of Knee Ability Zero is not to need assistance and to be able to do this on flat ground, pain-free. This is the goal of Knee Ability Zero. Then, as we start in dense strength, only when you can do 10 sets of 5 per leg under 20 minutes do I allow you to add 5%, and so on. Because we're not just trying to rush to see how much your muscles can do. Yes, you will see muscular changes. If you're like me and had super chicken legs, maybe you'll get a defined pair of legs. If you're, already have big legs, they'll get even more jacked. Only 5%. So what you saw me doing at the start of this video that was my 10th set of 5. Now, watch my ankle, and now you're gonna see how this vertical jump transformation kept going, right? So, as I began loading more and more, I found that my ankle mobility got better. So now in here, I'm loading my adductors, I'm loading my glutes. My glutes are gonna be sore tomorrow, okay? I'm not gonna have any joint pain tomorrow, but I'm gonna be walking like I had a crushing leg workout because I did. And now here's what we can all agree on. Every jump coach can agree that if your knees never hurt and you can apply your full force into jumping while increasing how strong your lower body is relative to how much your body weighs, anyone could get into the 40-inch vertical range, right? The difference is that with some other methods, instead of things getting less healthy as you go higher, more fragile as you go higher, more risky as you higher, you get more stable, more bulletproof, because the entire time we're causing those internal knee adaptations. Not to mention, let's look at when we're doing regular lifting in our legs, we're not stimulating our soleus, which is that lower, deeper calf muscles, which is the key for the Achilles. And the Achilles is the biggest spring in your body. It's the largest, thickest tendon in your body. So as we're loading this, without realizing it, we're getting stronger feet, soleus, and even as it gets down here, we're improving our ankle mobility, and we're still pushing through, getting stronger in all those lower muscles. So you see, I had to reverse engineer and give up my goal of dunking, never thinking I would ever dunk. I just wanted bulletproof knees. So the goal of Knee Ability Zero is actually, whether you see muscular change or not is beside the point. We're trying to make internal knee adaptation, and we're trying to rebuild you from the ground up, hitting all these key lower leg muscles that most people have never touched, or if they have, they haven't addressed it at the same amount that they have their bench and their squat and their deadlift. So you can actually progress back to those things later, but I've been following this course now, and as I've gradually loaded this movement, it's turned into a total lower body developer, jacking up my glute strength and my leg drive, and so this is how I'm able to just keep jumping higher with bulletproof knees. So that's how I've gotten, being always the fragile guy, always knee pain, surgeries, never getting past 9 inch to over 40 inch. So this is a route no one's tried. No one's tried a route of, let me see how strong I can get my lower body in perfect ratio to internal knee adaptation and bulletproofing from the ground up through all the front and rear ankle muscles, foot muscles, shin muscles, calf muscles. You see the point. Not to mention then we begin working on Nordics and different things for behind the knee, and then we do start building the lower back and the core and the hip flexors, but it's a rewiring from the ground up, and it does turn into full-on glute strengthening, which is what everyone's rushing towards, but you can get there as a freak who's never gonna get hurt.